Okay, gonna come down here. We got the external power plug. We're gonna check that for security right here and make sure that's secure right there. And then we're gonna check the hydraulic actuator for the collective here. And then on the other side, we gotta check these two little screws right here. You should be able to turn those little screws right there. If not, you gotta get some WD or something and loosen them right up. And make sure those turn. Okay, here we have the magnetos and the points, checking them for any damage. Specifically, we're checking these wires, make sure there's no damage, nothing's pulled out, and all look good. We're going to come up here and we're going to check the control rods. You want to reach in and twist those, make sure they're a little bit loose. You can rotate them a little bit, but we don't want any vertical play on these. Checking the castle nuts and cotter keys, make sure they're all in place and they all look good. There's no damage to anything. Looking in here, we're going to check the fan belt from this side. You want to do is spin that around and check the belt all the way around, and get your hand in there and check these fan blades. Spin it around, and what we're specifically looking at is see if there's any cracks at the roots of these blades. We also want to get our hand in there and get it in behind the blade, and we're going to pull it out fore and aft. Make sure there's no play fore and aft. And what we're doing by this is we're checking the bearing in that pulley. Make sure it's not wearing or starting to fail. So get in there and pull it fore and aft. It shouldn't move fore and aft. And check the condition of that bearing. Coming back out here, we're going to check the fan shroud. Make sure there's no rips or damage there. Make sure it's all buttoned up. And coming down, we check the sprag mats at the bottom. We check the rubber, make sure there's no cracks there. Check the bolt on the end, reach in and grab that rod and give it a shake, make sure it doesn't move. There's 4 of these. There's one aft, there's one forward, you can see it there. There's the one that's right in front of us, and there's one directly on the opposite side. Give these a shake, make sure there's no movement. It connects to the bottom of the engine. It keeps everything from moving. If one starts to fail, you might be able to feel it if the helicopter's in a steep bank and it starts this chugging motion. You know that one of those, you got a problem with sprag now. Okay, we're going to pre-flight the rotor hub now. We're going to start right at the top and just work our way down. And what we're looking for here, of course, we're looking for any cracks, anything unusual, any chafing, anything broken. As we go along, we're checking for all the nuts, the castle nuts, make sure they're on and they have their cotter keys in place. So we're going to start right here at the top at the dynamic stops, or the rabbit ears, and make sure they're secure, there's no damage to them, make sure the spring is in place. If these springs break, these are just going to stay flopped out like this. It's not dangerous or anything. What it does, though, is it allows the blades to excessively flap as they slow down. So if you see one of these broken and you get out of the helicopter, you're going to know that that blade can flap down a lot lower than normal. You want to be careful because it can come down to shoulder height. Okay, check those, and of course check the Jesus nut there. We know if that comes off, so does everything else. So you won't be home for dinner. You'll be having your last supper somewhere else. And more important down here is, so that doesn't come off, they got a tab. And one of these tabs should be flipped up and locked in so that cannot come loose. Okay, yeah, down here we have the trunnion. You got the gimbal ring here. You've got the pillow blocks. And you want to make sure, again, you're looking for any cracks, any chafing on those right there. You have the weights up here, the counter weights, one here and one over here. They help balance the collective so it stays where you put it. Down here we have the yoke comes out, and we have the grip. You want to check the grip, especially this bolt that comes down through here. Make sure that nut is secure on the bottom. Both sides, grip over here, bolt through. We got the nut right here. And we have the drag brace on this side. Check that bolt right there, no damage to the drag brace. Okay, here we have the pitch horn, pitch link, equalizer bar, equalizer links, Got the equalizer horn. Checking these castle nuts. Checking these links. You can rotate them, but what we don't want here is any up and down movement on those rod ends, on the ends of these links. Another way we double check that, take our right hand and put it around the drag brace. And what we're going to do is wiggle that up and down. And while we're doing that, we're going to take our other hand and put our finger on the top of that pitch link and feel, make sure there's no vertical movement there. And when we're done there, we spin it around and check the other one the same way. Another thing to check before you continue on is, while you're up on top, is to look down the blade and check, make sure, especially the edges that can get hit. Make sure there's no damage there, and check this doubling all in here. All this has been laminated and glued down, and if the glue starts to come unstuck and it comes unlaminated, you can you can tell by tapping on it. You get a coin or a pen, and it looks like there's a trouble spot. Go ahead and tap on it, and if it has a hollow sound, which this doesn't, you can tell, okay, it's starting to lift. And these all sound good, nothing looks wrong, so there's no problem there. Let's continue down to the stabilizer bar.